WTIM.
You're listening to the WTIM Pana Morning Show on your information station. The show is sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Pizza Man, Noren's Hardware, Bob Riding's Pana, and Okanee Chop Shop. I'm your host, Reed Kamai, and we go southwest from Pana to Nokomis. I say we go, it's figurative because I'm in our Taylorville studios, so I guess I would be going south, figuratively, of course, to talk to Dr. Scott Dewar, the superintendent of the Nokomis School District. Dr. Dewar, thanks for coming on this morning.
Thanks, Reed. I appreciate you having me today.
Yeah, no, it's good to have you on, and good for me to finally talk to you after all these months of listening to you on the interviews you've done for us. So I know it's been, you were saying it had been an interesting last few weeks, and I will admit to the listener as well, it did take me a moment or two to figure out why that might be, because I know some severe weather rolled through the area pretty strongly just a couple weeks ago, and I'd love to know just first kind of how folks are doing over there.
Well, I think overall everyone's doing well. There was an EF1 tornado that went through Nokomis. Luckily, it was on a Sunday, so school was not in session. For the most part, the town pretty much, just faced some downed trees and limbs and things like that. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. The junior senior high school probably took the brunt of the storm with, a lot of roof damage.
Okay, yeah. So that was certainly a big part of it, and I remember it being part of our reporting as well. So how is it going in terms of schooling at the junior senior high school? Are folks going in? Has it been all distance learning since then? What's the story there?
No, we took the day off the Monday after the storm to assess and evaluate the damage, start mitigating any water issues, start getting contractors in place to, do the repairs. We started back to school the next day on Tuesday, so we're fully in session and have been since then. The damage was mostly done to the roof areas. It didn't peel the roofs completely off. It did take part of the metal part of the roof of the new gym completely off on the south side. Of course, when you have metal flying through the air, that causes other damage. So when that came off, it scraped and punctured holes in other parts of the roof, particularly the old gym roof and some of the 1960 addition building. Luckily, the penetrations that did happen weren't severe, so we did not have a lot of water damage inside the building. That was mitigated. Thankfully to our custodians and staff that showed up on Sunday night to, put buckets down and things like that to catch water before it damaged any gym floors and other floors in the junior high. So we are in the process of complete repairs. A lot of the roof damage that has been done has been temporarily repaired. So we're not seeing any further leaks or damage into the building or to the ceilings or to the floors of the school. And then, we have bids and quotes ready for the insurance company to approve so we can move forward for roof replacements.
Wow, no, that sounds like some pretty wicked damage there with how you described it, right? With the metal material there on the roof. So so you mentioned you've done the temporary repairs. Now are those spaces like the gyms, are you folks able to kind of use them in the meantime?
Absolutely, yeah. They're perfectly safe. Like I said, we've mitigated a lot of those issues on the roof, so we're not seeing water infiltrating the building after the rain we got the other day. Things were good. The contractors did a great job of getting to Nokomis and getting everything ready for the kids to return. And it's still an ongoing process, obviously. So, we had to tear off part of another part of a roof to replace the whole thing and, do minor repairs from where that metal scraped across or punctured holes in the flat roof or in the old gym roof. But all the building is usable. and we're finishing up the school year.
All right, so you're moving forward with that. I know you also talked about looking into like a more I wouldn't say longer term, but comprehensive repair to kind of get things back to a little bit more normal, and looking at all of the particulars with that. How much of
Right.
a financial hit do you expect that's going to kind of take on the district, if you're able to share?
Well, right now, all the estimates for not only the roof issues, but some of the interior damage, which was very minimal, and the football scoreboard was completely. It wasn't really knocked down. The scoreboard is hung on three I beams, which were with the straight line winds caused them to turn at a 90-degree angle. So it pretty much ruined those I beams and some of that scoreboard out there. So with everything, we're looking at about 1.3 million.
Okay, so that sounds like a lot. Does it seem like you folks are going to have to maybe like curtail some other spending that you were planning on, or kind of delay anything else like that as a
You
result
know,
of all this?
we'll see. We have a great insurance company with Prairie State Insurance Cooperative. We've been a member of that since its inception many years ago. I'm waiting to hear back from them. Adjusters have been in, they have filed their reports with the insurance company. So we'll see what the insurance company says. We obviously have other avenues of revenue. School districts have health life safety funds that we can tap into if we have to, for roof replacements and things like that. So I'm confident that we'll get everything done that we need to get done, and move forward, for the future.
All right, so you've got that going on. Any final thoughts you want to share about the tornado damage and what you folks are doing before we move on?
No, I think I appreciate everyone's help. We did have several custodians and staff members come in that Sunday night. A couple board members were in, to help, catch water and assess damage and get prepared. We had a lot, obviously, of debris in the parking lots that had to be collected and discarded. So that has been a big help. Everybody in town and throughout the community have been very helpful and appreciative of their hard work.
Okay, well, it is great to hear, about folks coming together, and it seems like you folks did quite a bit to kind of mitigate the physical and financial damages, and it seems like that you have a way forward as well. So I'm happy for you folks
Absolutely.
about that. Let's see, we've got spring break coming up. I'm curious if there's anything big going on district wide for that you want to share.
Not really. Wednesday will be our last day of school, so students and staff will have Thursday, Friday, and Monday off for spring break. Hopefully, they'll get some time to enjoy family and friends over a long weekend, if you will, and kind of rejuvenate themselves. When they come back next Tuesday, we'll be on the downhill slide for the school year, and we'll just keep moving forward like we always do.
Downhill slide. I like to think about it that way, and I think it makes sense also for schools, right? You've got the playgrounds and you've got the slide there as well. I'd never thought about that, and I have been to school, of course, so that's a good way to put it. I'm talking right now with Dr. Scott Dewar, the superintendent of Nokomis Schools. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue our conversation right here on the WTIM Pain Morning Show on your information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
The markets down the RFD radio network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn slightly lower, beans and wheat higher at this hour. May corn down 2.5, 453 and a quarter. July corn down 3 1/4, 464 and a quarter. December new crop 480 3/4, down 3 1/4. May beans up 2 1/4, 1162. July beans up 2 1/4, 1177 and a quarter. November new crop 1145 and a half, up 1 1/2. May Chicago wheat 614 1/4, up 7 1/4. May KC wheat 636 3/4, up 10 1/2. May bean meal 315.70, up 80 cents. May bean oil down 4 cents, 68.43. Livestock trade April feeders, $365.75, up $2.45. April live cattle up $1.15, $240.70. April lean hogs, $90.70, up 22 cents. Energy market, June Brent crude oil, $107.10, down 29 cents. RFD Radio Network.
If you're like most people, finding extra money for your savings just doesn't happen. Hi, this is Julie Sanchez at People's Bank and Trust, and we have the solution you've been looking for. Sign up for our Save by Spendings Roundup program, and we'll round up your purchases to the next dollar, then transfer that change to your savings account. It's as easy as shop, enjoy, and save. Start saving for the things you really want with our Save by Spending Roundup program. Call 888-PBT-1954 and let us put you and your savings first. People's Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
An exciting new addition is coming to Springfield Clinic Taylorville. Here's Dr. Pavi Gill with Springfield Clinic Taylorville.
Springfield Clinic Taylorville is excited to welcome nurse practitioner Billy Toland to our walk-in clinic, so you can get the care you need when you need it.
Walk in without an appointment at Springfield Clinic Taylorville, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. till 8 p.m.
If you're looking for music that stood the test of time, then join me, Randy Miller, Sunday mornings from 6 to 8 on 96.5thechill.com. I host Win the Day Replay, a 2-hour syndicated show that takes you back to the roots of contemporary Christian music. From the songs that started a movement to the hits that shaped our faith, you'll hear 2 hours of encouragement, inspiration, and timeless CCM. Win the Day Replay, going back to the music that built our faith. Sunday mornings, 6 to 8 on 96.5thechill.com.
If you're 40 and over, you'll recognize these artists by their first names: Frank, Dean, Sammy, Andy, Nat, Diana, Michael. Well, here's the big news. You can now hear Central Illinois' largest music library with over 3,500 songs on air and online at 96.5thechill.com. Tune in on the FM dial in Christian County and on your computer or smartphone. Hear these great artists and many more 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on 96.5thechill.com.
WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM Pana Morning Show on your information station. The show is sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, along with Pizza Man, Noren's Hardware, Bob Riding's Pana, and Okanee Chop Shop. I'm your host, Reed Kamai, and I continue my conversation with Dr. Scott Dewar, the superintendent of the Nokomis School District. We spent much of the first segment talking about the recent severe weather that ran right through Nokomis and unfortunately affected some of their facilities, but it seems like they're on the road to recovery, and the damage was a lot less than it could otherwise have been. Now, I know you folks have had some renovations you'd been planning for, going back some years, and you're into the last phase of that. What can folks expect in that last phase?
Yeah, so this has been an ongoing project since about 2017. We've started renovating the buildings as we could pay for them, so that's always good. So in this last phase, we'll be there's a couple things left at the high school that we need to do. The main senior hall will be completely renovated. The 2 high school science classrooms will be gutted and renovated. So we're looking obviously at new equipment, new flooring, new lighting. Paint does a lot of work for making the place look nice. Seniors will get new lockers next year. We'll be renovating the girls' locker room as well. And then the old gym will be renovated, new bleachers, new lighting, new ceilings, things like that. So that should complete the renovation projects at the junior senior high school. As we move over to the elementary school at North Elementary, the entire second floor will be pretty much gutted and renovated. We'll shore up the flooring. That's a 100-year-old building. So, it's old, it's creaky. We're going to do some major flooring renovations up on that second floor, as well as walls, ceilings, lights, and all the fixtures. And as a result of those renovations, that building should be completely renovated as well. We've been working on solar projects for both buildings. Those should be completed here in the next couple of months. So we're obviously taking a good hard look at our buildings. It's a lot cheaper to renovate them than to, tear them down and build from scratch. And that obviously then would cost the taxpayers a lot more money. The Board of Education and I have been working on these projects for about 7 or 8 years now, trying to be good custodians of the taxpayers' money, but also making sure that our kids and our faculty and staff have a nice, safe learning environment that can take place, and educational processes can continue uninterrupted. So it's going to be about a $5 million project that's going to happen this summer. We have a lot of things planned. Construction will start the day after the students leave for the summer and continue through August. We'll be ready for them to come back in August to new learning spaces and a fresh look to their learning environments.
All right. So you think much of that last phase is going to be is just run through the summer and then be done in time for the students?
It should be. Yes, that's the game plan. That's what contracts for the contractors say. Things have to be done by the middle of August. And so we'll get other things moved in that we'll be taking out that we're going to keep. And we're going to start school next year about 4 or 5 days later than we normally do, just to ensure that we have everything ready to go and give teachers time to get into their classrooms and set up and get prepared for the start of the school year. Teachers have a tendency that, to come in a couple weeks before school starts anyway, to start prepping their rooms and get their class schedules and do all that fun stuff that especially our elementary teachers do to welcome their students in for the new school year. So we're going to try to give them some extra time to get that done in August. Everything should be good and ready to set to go for when we open the doors in the middle of August.
All right. So the students and the faculty and the staff, and I'm sure you have all of that to look forward to. You mentioned the $5 million price tag. Is that just for this last phase, or is that for the whole thing?
Nope, that's just for this last phase.
Okay. So $5 million there. You mentioned it's been like a 7 to 8 year process. I mean, from your standpoint, that must feel really good to, just see how everything has turned out like over the years, and especially now as this looks to wrap up.
Absolutely. This has been, like I said, the board and I have worked on this for many years now. We've taken our vision and put it into place to, make our buildings very user-friendly for our students and our staff, making it a safe environment, a good learning environment for all of them. And, if you would have walked through our buildings 10 years ago and then did a compare and contrast or a before and after, and walk through them again in August of 2026, you'll see that these spaces are completely new, fresh, and gives everyone a place to have fun in the learning process and at the same time use the new materials and equipment and labs that we've created for them for learning to take place.
No, that's awesome. We've got less than a minute to go. Like, let's say you got a hold of, say, someone who graduated from the Comas High School in like 10 years ago and showed it to them. Do you think they would not recognize the space?
They would definitely see a lot of major changes. We definitely have, we usually have 2 or 3 class reunions that we host every year. And, some of them are 20-year graduates, some are 40-year graduates. And they're absolutely amazed by the changes that have taken place over the years, and the new look, I guess, if you want to call that, that both schools have transformed into.
Oh, that is awesome! I can't wait to see it as well. Dr. Scott Dewar, thanks so much for joining me this morning.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Well, thank you. You too. And this is the WTIM Pana Morning Show.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville. 96.1 FM Taylorville. 107.5 FM Shelbyville. 107.9 FM Pena Nokomis. Breaking news this hour from town.